Imagine if David Lynch designed an escape room. How cool would it be to feel trapped in a dreamlike state where pleasantries could suddenly turn into nightmares? The Insomnia escape room is not designed by David Lynch, but it's certainly the most Lynchian escape game we've ever tried. It mixes tangible realism with a surreal dream world. It's full of nighttime whispers, flickering lights and hard colors, and set in a world gone slightly mad. It delves into the inner workings of the human mind and puts the players into a physical representation of their own subconscious. So, when the game starts, your team is separated, chained to the wall and wearing impenetrable sunglasses. There is no background story, nothing to hold on to. It's just you waking up in a strange room. In that way, the Insomnia escape room also becomes an exploration game with you as the detective. You have to find out what's going on, not just physically around you, but also mentally inside yourself. Only towards the very end, once you discover what is going on, the escape motivation of the room itself is introduced. Insomnia is a huge game. It consists of many rooms, some are small, some are quite big. Taken together, they make the game very immersive and unsettling. Not because the rooms are decorated with an attention to scary or sleazy details, more the opposite, to be honest. But the way they've been designed is still very unnerving due to the shadowy, low-key lighting and lighting effects. The sound design is also an important and very Lynchian factor. The first thing you hear is ominous humming sounds, people's threatening whispers, and a maniacal laughter. Then you remove the sunglasses and try to take in the strange world you've been put into. It's weirdly misty, which makes it even more dreamlike, and your team has been split in two parties. Either you start in the claustrophobic room of a teenage boy, or the room of a little girl, complete with children's furniture and enveloped in red color. From there, the world becomes gradually more surreal. Most of the rooms set out to make you uncomfortable with very little but highly effective means, turning a whole living room, abandoned and messy, 90 degrees to one side, for instance, or making you crawl through really small hatches to get further into the game. Actually, the fact that you never know what's waiting around the next corner quickly settles in, making Insomnia feel like one of those dreams that are constantly on the brink of turning into a proper nightmare. Still, this escape room is set in a cellar deep underground, and you can sense the mold and mildew in the walls and the air. The room hasn't been cleaned up either. Somehow the dust and dirt add to the uncomfortable atmosphere overall, but you should avoid playing it in your Sunday best. The great thing about Insomnia is that the escape room tells a proper story. During your exploration, you encounter various objects and hints with which you can put together the solution to the overall mystery. Why are you trapped here? What's going on? Who are you? In a way, it's a little ironic. You, the main character in the game room, are obsessed with insomnia, falling asleep. But later on, the storyline takes a twist to the exact opposite, waking up and realizing what's going on. In that way, there's not just a storyline in the room, but also character development revolving around the same theme, and it works excellently. Maybe it's because the storyline works so well that you tend to forget that many of the puzzles actually deal with finding keys and ciphers to unlock just another padlock. There are no fancy electronic contraptions in the game. You don't get to experiment a whole lot with various objects, sound for instance, or fluids. You do get to play around with a flashlight and also blacklight, but these puzzles are quickly over and done with. In this regard, Insomnia is actually very traditional and conservative, and it reserves its dreamlike state and wild ideas for the set decoration. At various points you do find everyday gadgets like a mobile phone and a digital camera. It would have been really scary and even more immersive to have integrated these objects deeply in the gameplay. For instance, the mobile you receive in the beginning of the game could have received text messages that you had to answer in order to solve a puzzle. Or the camera you find later on could have contained its own pictures, video or sound clips that could have added extra mystery or scares to the storyline. Or maybe the camera's flash could have become usable in the darkest corners of the set. Anyway, there are lots of possibilities here, but none really taken. What we really appreciated though was the overall puzzle structure. Clearly, the hardest puzzles are put in the beginning of the game, whereas the more easy and self-explanatory ones are put in the final section of the game. This meant that, even though we didn't make it out of the room in time, the flow in the last part makes it feel like you've accomplished something really huge, and who doesn't like feeling this sense of accomplishment? Our game master was kind and forthcoming, but not very good at English. This made any kind of communication with her difficult, from the welcome greetings to our leaving the whole establishment. Of course, the language barrier also put a strain on the hint system. It was simply difficult to understand what she tried to say through the inevitable set of walkie-talkies that also accompany you in this escape room. Actually, the only thing that went through the walkies without a problem was her cheerful "Hello, hello, it's me again." This phrase was repeated enough times during the game that it ended up becoming quite annoying, also because every single time the Game Master's static cheerfulness pulled us out of the Lynchian atmosphere of the room. She destroyed our immersion in the game. Again, the sound design of the room could be put to better use when it comes to the hint system. How great it would be if the Game Master's distorted voice could be mixed into the other strange noises in the room. Or maybe she could have called us on the mobile phone we found in the room. That would make the whole experience even scarier and more immersive. Put more favourably, on the other hand, the Game Master was very alert and helpful, and she provided us with a total of 6 hints. Never did she mention the time or the deadline, and since there's no clock inside the Insomnia escape room, you end up feeling quite lost. But then again, she let us spend 4 minutes extra to finish the game. A nice gesture, indeed. Insomnia doesn't take the prize for being the most beautiful or technologically advanced escape game in Prague, but it certainly has atmosphere and a storyline which is unique. It sets out to blur the line between being awake and trapped inside a nightmare, and it succeeds all the way through. It's definitely its own thing, and we wouldn't hesitate to recommend it to all fans of David Lynch.